Tonight, blood on his hands. A grieving family says a judge was too lenient on those responsible for their son's death. Jesse Lloyd-Smith was gunned down in Peckham last year. Today, one man got life, but two of those who planned it will be free in 2 years.
Do you feel justice was served in any way today?
On behalf of Jesse's mum, family and friends, no, we do not.
Also tonight, how the agonising wait for a teenager's special educational needs provision in Surrey has left her mum so unwell she needs 24-hour care herself. Would you fork out more for fireworks? City Hall ups the tourist prices yet again for the New Year's Eve show. And
every time I think about it, can't stop thinking about it. You were all I need.
the multi-Grammy Award-winning multi-instrument playing Jacob Collier on why his latest album is keeping it simple. Good evening. A mother whose son was shot dead in Peckham last year said the judge sentencing those involved in his death has blood on his hands. 20-year-old Jesse Lloyd-Smith was murdered in what's been described as an execution-style attack. Though one of the men involved in his death did receive a life sentence, his family claims others integral in planning the attack have been let off lightly. Kafo Pata reports.
Once more at the Old Bailey, another family reminded of how their loved one was murdered. This time it was Jesse Lloyd-Smith, shot 5 times on the estate he grew up on. His killer, Gabriel Charles, was seen driving away from the shooting. Later, he fled the country, but justice caught up to him. Jesse's mother shouted, "Good," as he was sentenced to life in prison.
To those responsible for the brutal daylight shooting of my beloved son Jesse, I wish to express the overwhelming emotional turmoil our family and friends continue to face. To all those responsible, even the ones that were not brought to court, you know who you are.
Jesse's murder was a long and complex case, in part due to the efforts of these men who assisted his killer. CCTV showed them burning the car used in the shooting and offering safe refuge to a murderer.
It was a packed courtroom, several barristers for several defendants, each of whom played some role in Jesse's murder or the subsequent cover-up. We heard how his shooting was a planned execution involving surveillance, stolen cars, stolen number plates. All this was taken into consideration as the judge handed down his sentence.
A sentence of less than 5 years each for these men. Jesse's mother called the judge weak and said he had blood on his hands.
What would you say to the judge for the sentence he passed down?
Please, more.
Do you feel justice was served in any way today?
On behalf of Jesse's mum, family and friends, no, we do not.
They may feel like justice was not served, but regardless, a murderer is now behind bars. And from those who put him there, a stern warning.
Let me be clear. The Metropolitan Police are relentless in going after those who bring guns to our street, who pull the trigger or assist those who do so. Wherever you are in the world, we will work with our partners to bring justice for acts committed on London streets.
Once more at the Old Bailey, another family goes home with emptiness in their hearts. They haven't had the justice they wanted, and they'll never see Jesse again. Kaf Opata, ITV News.
The mother of a teenage girl with special educational needs claims that despite her daughter's plummeting mental health, Surrey County Council has continued to fail her. The family's spoken to us anonymously to protect the identity of their 17-year-old. In the 6 months since ITV News London last visited her home, she has made 2 attempts to take her own life and is still no further forward in receiving an education, health and care plan from the council. And a new report shows that she is one of almost 8,000 children who've waited longer than the legal limit to receive such a plan. Helen Keenan reports.
In the 6 months since we last spoke, her daughter's mental health has hit rock bottom. The provision she is legally entitled to for her special educational needs, she isn't getting.
How has all of this affected your daughter?
So she's severely depressed and anxious because she doesn't believe she's worth an education. We've had a further, I think, 2 suicide attempts since you last came and we spoke.
Her mum says the stress has left her so unwell, she herself now needs 24-hour care, and says the problems in Surrey are deepening.
I believed I was the only person until I reached out to people and started talking, and there are hundreds on just one of my groups alone whose parents and children have experienced exactly the same thing.
Figures from the Department of Health show in 2024 almost 1,300 children in Surrey were not given an outcome in the legal limit for an EHCP of 20 weeks. More than 300 children had to wait over a year to get an EHCP. Today it was a topic discussed by the Lib Dem leader during a visit to Surrey with his party's Surrey Heath MP. It is acknowledged as a national problem, but in Surrey they have the highest number of tribunal appeals anywhere in the country.
Extremely alarming that parents, children, young people aren't getting the service from Surrey County Council to help their children who've got special education needs and disabilities. We were worried that the last government didn't take it seriously. We were particularly worried that Surrey County Council hasn't done a good enough job. There has to be change nationally. We need to make sure that there's greater provision of special schools. We need to make sure that mainstream schools have more resources to assist their pupils with special needs. We need more therapists, specialists, staff. And if we get those schools in the right places, actually we can save quite a lot of money.
Surrey County Council has told us the government has recognised that SEND is a broken national system and that they have made huge strides in Surrey, confirming a further £4.9 million to expand and restructure the service.
Surrey Council apologised last year over their poor SEND provision. Has much changed since then?
Yes, it's got significantly worse.
It's a message shared by parents left frustrated and exhausted by the system. Helen Keenan, ITV News.
Hundreds of thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters are expected to gather in central London tomorrow, a day after the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas came into effect. The protesters will be calling for the ceasefire to become permanent. They'll set off from embankments at midday for a march ending in a rally in Whitehall from 2:30 p.m. A man who was fined for burning a Quran has had his conviction overturned. Hamit Koskan was found guilty earlier this year of a religiously aggravated public order offence outside the Turkish consulate in London in February. But backed by free speech campaigners, the 51-year-old has had his conviction overturned, with a judge finding in his favour at Southwark Crown Court. Londoners facing homelessness will benefit from a new £36.5 million funding package announced by the government ahead of winter. The money will target rough sleeping and families who face homelessness. The cash injection comes after London boroughs revealed they were collectively spending £5.5 million a day to tackle homelessness, with the money mainly going towards temporary accommodation. A family from South London have said that the 2 weeks their toddler's kidney cancer went undiagnosed will haunt them forever. 2-year-old Milo was sent home after an abdominal inspection despite the doctor feeling a hard mass. He died 6 weeks later. A study of 2,000 children showed that more than half of them waited more than a month for diagnosis, losing critical early intervention. And that's something that Milo's family said needs to change. They spoke to Antoine Allen.
It's just very empty, but we try and keep Milo's room the same, keep all his toys in there, and we go in there to sort of think about him.
I come in every morning to open the blinds and say morning to Milo, and then every night I come in, I close the blinds and I say goodnight to Milo and tell him how much I love him.
The children that don't survive a cancer diagnosis leave behind homes that are time capsules to their short but loving lives.
Milo was amazing. He was completely bursting with life and energy. He was just so happy-go-lucky.
Very intelligent, and we were teaching him about dinosaurs.
Milo was just 2 years old when he was diagnosed with kidney cancer. Initially, when his parents took him to A&E, they were told to go home.
She felt the mass in his belly, but unfortunately misdiagnosed it as faeces rather than the actual tumour that it was. And then we were sent home again.
I love you.
As Milo's condition became worse, he was referred to a different hospital that did spot the signs of cancer. But the 2 weeks he was misdiagnosed weighs heavy on his parents' minds.
I think the misdiagnosis, it tortures me, basically. We think about it every day.
Yeah.
And we replay the events and, you wish you'd done more and you wish you'd pushed.
ITV News contacted the hospital concerned. As of yet, they have not responded. The University of Nottingham found that over half of the 2,000 children they studied waited more than a month for a correct diagnosis, presenting with an average of 4 symptoms by the time cancer was confirmed. Using this research funded by the CCLG, they developed a set of guidelines for potential signs of cancer. They believe this simple poster can help clinicians and parents. 12 or more children and young people are diagnosed with cancer each day. Many are treated at hospitals far from their homes. Charities like Young Lives vs Cancer provide support and accommodation to those in need.
We just had absolutely no idea.
She looks so happy there.
So happy, so carefree, and relatively so well. But yeah, then it all changed very quickly.
Ready, steady.
For 2 years, Ava has been undergoing treatment for leukemia.
The doctor told me I had something called leukemia.
What's leukemia?
After writing a book about her cancer journey, the 7-year-old is just weeks away from being given the all clear, due to an early blood test after her parents noticed lumps near her ears.
If someone hadn't been so on it when the blood results came through and phoned us to tell us to go in there and then, we just don't know how lengthy that process might have been, how sick she might have got in that time.
Ava's weeks away from getting the all clear.
It's been a long journey. Sorry. I'm really proud. To think that Ava will be ringing her bell in a matter of weeks is really amazing to think of. When I still needed to get weekly blood tests, you still do.
Early diagnosis won't always save lives, but doctors believe starting the right treatment as soon as possible can give children the best chance of surviving cancer. Antoine Allen, ITV News.
After losing her home and her pets in a devastating fire, a woman from Surrey is pleading with others to carefully consider the dangers of converting bikes into e-bikes. In the first 9 months of this year, there were 165 e-bike and e-scooter fires recorded in London alone, meaning the capital is on track to surpass 200 fires of this kind in a single year for the very first time. Carolyn Sim reports.
What was once Emma Wills's dream home is now gutted by fire. A battery used to convert a bike into an e-bike exploded when it was charging in the living room. It took just 15 minutes for Emma's home to be destroyed. Her 2 kittens died.
It's devastating, I think, is the main word that I would say. Gutted. It's not like a normal fire where you get a bit of smoke and then the flames come. It just exploded.
What did you lose in there?
Everything. And I mean everything.
The e-bike conversion kit had been similar to these, which are becoming more and more popular. It had been bought from a marketplace on a well-known online platform.
There's not a dedicated standard for these conversion kits.
The charity Electrical Safety First told me sales are soaring, but many kits are neither safe or road legal.
The problem is substandard products making their way into our homes, which is what we're seeing from online marketplaces, which is why we need this tackled by the government.
So if you buy a battery and a charger separately, even though the connection might fit, it doesn't mean it's compatible. And that's what can cause these catastrophic fires.
The charity plugged one in for real, and this happened. They're now calling on the government to tackle the problem with more regulation, as more people want faster bikes.
If it's attempted by an individual that doesn't know exactly how to fit the components, or the components are not compatible, it can lead to a fire. Last year we saw 171 e-bike, e-scooter fires, and this year we're heading to in excess of 200 fires.
And what happened to Emma is proof of the dangers. Her insurance hasn't covered the damage, so she's now in debt as well as heartbroken. Carolyn Sim, ITV News.
Still to come on the programme tonight.
Every time I think about it, can't stop thinking about it. You were all I need.
From prodigy to pioneer, Jacob Collier talks Grammy wins, audience participation and his new album. And
yo, it's MC Grammar. Yeah, that's me on London News on ITV, celebrating books on a Friday evening. So keep rapping and keep reading.
now, believe it or not, tickets are soon to go on sale for this year's New Year's Eve spectacular on the Thames, but fireworks aren't the only things going up. Prices for visitors coming from outside of London are rocketing too. Prices for Londoners have stayed the same, but anyone who isn't a resident can now expect to pay between £40 and £55 for a view of the 12-minute light show. Aisha Zahid is on the embankment for us tonight. Aisha, just talk us through the numbers.
Well, it's still great for Londoners, not so great for tourists. So when it comes to the prices of these tickets, which are being released next week on Friday, for Londoners, they can expect to see the same prices as last year. That's either £20 or £35, depending on which tier of ticket they buy. But for anyone travelling to the city for the event, the prices will be either £40 or £55, which is a 14.5 and a 14.5 and 10% increase, respectively. Some have described it as tourist tax, but the Mayor's office disagrees. A spokesperson released a statement saying ticket prices have increased slightly this year to cover the increase in costs across the events industry, as well as maintaining enhanced security and crowd management around the event. However, this hugely popular event attracts large numbers of tourists every year, and we expect demand to continue to be very high. Now, we've been speaking to people here on the embankment about their thoughts on the pricing. Here's what they had to say.
Yeah, I think a tourist is going to pay the extra money to see the fireworks.
If I lived here and I was in London, no, I wouldn't pay.
I don't really know why they're charging so much. I mean, it's London. It's going crazy with price, inflation. So personally, I wouldn't.
No, I think that'd be quite annoying to have to pay more to come and see the fireworks. And I think it's nice. That it could be quite an accessible thing for everyone to be able to see. So I don't think they should raise the prices of it.
So the first batch of tickets will be released on Ticketmaster next week on Friday, the 17th of October, and there will be a second batch of tickets released as well nearer the time.
OK, Aisha, thank you very much. Now, my guest tonight is a rapper with a difference. Jacob Mitchell, best known as MC Grammar, is passionate about getting kids excited about reading. He started using rapping to make learning fun when he was a teacher in North London, but he burst out of the classroom into world tours and a book series. Now, the second book in the adventures of a rap kid has just come out, but let's see how MC Grammar's story evolved.
The Gruffalo, let's go. Yo, a mouse took a stroll through the deep dark wood. A fox on the mouse and the mouse looked good. Where are you going to, little brown mouse? Come and have lunch in my underground house.
Elmer was patchwork. Wait, how does that work? Well, stop interrupting and listen to the track, man. See, Elmer was yellow, orange, red, and pink and purple. Blue and green and black and white. Dude, that's unheard of.
So that first video, that was where it all began, isn't it? You rapping the Gruffalo to your daughter.
Yeah.
Amazing. And wasn't it your wife who posted that? It's all her fault.
Yeah, it's her. I mean, I owe her all the credit, to be fair. She put it on Facebook. We woke up the next day, had hundreds of thousands of views, went up to 10 million in the end before we got a phone call from America and found our way to the Ellen Show, rapping books on the Ellen Show as well. So
amazing. So life-changing. The Gruffalo changed your life.
Absolutely, and I think that's a wonderful example of what books do. Books changed my life. My book was the Gruffalo. Someone's book might be about cakes and become a baker. Whatever it is, I think that's the magic of reading. They can literally change your life.
And we're seeing you, it's a slightly more polished version a bit later on when you're doing the Gruffalo. I mean, you've rapped quite a few of Julia Donaldson's books. What does she make of it all?
I've actually met Julia and she approves of it. She's told me herself and she enjoys it. And I think it's just adding a new dimension of bringing kids to the book. I always say, you've had the look, now go and read the book. And that's what it's about. It's about the exposure to the text and the story. And hopefully they will then pick up the book and become readers and rappers themselves.
I mean, you've kind of answered my next question, but I was going to say, how did MC Grammar come about? Where did the idea come from?
It actually came from a classroom in North London. I was teaching and we had this test called the SPAG test, which is spelling, punctuation and grammar. Very wordy, a lot of stuff to memorise, and I thought the best way to do this, knowing your audience, kids like music and hip hop and rap, I made a rap song called the Grammar Song, and obviously you need a rapper for a rap song, and playing on the stop, it's grammar time, not it's hammer time, was MC Grammar, and he was born, but now we rap about books, volcanoes, timetables, whatever it is you want to learn about. I just want to make music and make learning accessible and fun.
You're really passionate about this, aren't you? And just tell me a bit about the impact that this has on kids, because you must get so much back off them.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Kids go to, on World Book Day, they dress up as MC Grammar. We are touring at the moment with AG all over the country, and kids are coming, having the best time celebrating books and reading. They're rapping with their parents. But an example today at Wimbledon Book Fest, we had a teacher come up to us and say, you know, there's a child here who usually wears ear defenders and they have a bag of, you know, activities. They're going to need to use that. This kid threw their ear defenders off when the show started. They did not look at their bag and they had the best time, and they were focused on me rapping. And I think it's all about the access. It's a new dimension to learning, which is inclusive for all children, which is so important.
So powerful. You've been filling out festivals. Glastonbury, you did, didn't you? I mean, it's amazing. I think we've got pictures of you rapping. We're going on a bear hunt. And obviously you've got the kids there having a great time, but you've also got someone else there who is having the time of his life, Michael Rosen.
That's my mate, the OG, the GOAT in my opinion, of kids' books and literature. Yeah, you can see his approval, but also how cool is Michael Rosen to understand. That's an adaptation of his book, he's embracing it, and that's what this is all about.
Oh, I love it. Now, the second book in your amazing series, Adventures of a Rap Kid, that just came out yesterday, I think. You've got it there. What's he up to now?
Well, it's called The GOAT, and to be the GOAT, you have to be the greatest of all time. So he actually travels back in time now to battle some of the greats of time. So we've got Shakespeare in there, Hades, Cleopatra. I won't do any more spoilers, but just know it's more of a history book this time, with loads of cool rap battles and lots of education and learning in there too.
Absolutely extraordinary. You've got 4 kids.
I do.
They are so lucky to have MC Grammar as their dad. But also, I want to know what bedtime stories are like.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's my favourite time of the day. I see a book as the bridge, there they are, that brings kids together with their grown-ups. You know, it's the only time in the day where the rest of the world sort of stops. No emails are pinging off and so on. So we have a lot of fun. Yeah, you can have book wraps like this, which is a little more hectic, or you can just have those quiet times, those calm whispers, and just enjoying each other's company. So.
Amazing. We're out of time, but the only thing I want to say is how on earth do they get to sleep after that? I don't believe it.
Thanks for having me.
So lovely to see you, MC Grammar. Thank you.
Thank you.
OK, let's find out what's on the evening news now. Here's Lucrezia.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, a ceasefire begins in Gaza. As Israeli troops pull back, Palestinians start returning to their homes in the north. A deal was signed late last night. Within days, all hostages should be released. Also, the Pride of Hyde's final journey through Manchester. Thousands line the streets as boxer Ricky Hatton is laid to rest. And the Moody Blues singer and bass guitarist John Lodge has died, aged 82. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
It was a bit of a grey Friday in London today, wasn't it? Will things brighten up in time for the weekend? I hope so. Let's find out. Here's the forecast now with James.
A heavy downpour will subside and light relaxation will set in. TUI sponsors ITV London weekend weather.
Hi there, good evening. A settled end to the week, but not a particularly sunny one. We've had a sheet of cloud across us. The weekend and indeed the next few days, much the same sort of pattern of weather. Yes, it's going to be settled. There may be some sun at times and it's going to remain mild. Quite samey weather through the week, and it's because this high pressure system, the settling influence, isn't really going to move very far at all. In fact, this high pressure system could be lurking with us through till next weekend. So settled, but there is lots of cloud trapped in that system too. So as far as this evening goes, much the same. We might start to see some slightly drier air moving in from the north. That will help to melt some of this cloud back. The thing is, where you get that for any period of time, might see a little bit of mist developing because it's got such light breezes, and also getting a corresponding drop in temperatures. So 1 or 2 spots getting into high single digits. Saturday then, bit of a mixed bag, some cloud around, some bright spells, maybe some sunny spells, and temperatures maybe slightly down on today, but still pretty good all in all. I think in town with a bit of sunshine could get back up to around 18 Celsius. As to what happens next, well, we don't see a great deal of change really. The high pressure stays in situ. For a while at least, we might see some nice sunshine, but notice how we're starting to pick up some cloud down through the North Sea. Ahead of it, if you get a bit of a chilly night, we could again see some mist. That might well be the case early on Monday. So more cloud floating around. Temperatures though remaining pretty stable around the 18 Celsius mark, which is not bad for this point in October and for the lack of sunshine.
TUI sponsors ITV London weekend weather.
Finally this evening, he's halfway to racking up the same amount of Grammys as Taylor Swift, but he's actually had more albums take home gongs than she has. North London's Jacob Collier is the only British artist to have won a Grammy for each of his first 5 studio albums. He's also amassed millions of fans, including Stormzy and Chris Martin, and he's hoping his new album resonates with people as deeply as the rest did. Rags Martel went to the recording studio to meet him.
He's known for this. A one-man orchestra layering Grammy-winning sounds. But now, it's just Jacob and a guitar. He was known for being multi-talented, multi-instrumentalist, and then suddenly it's just you and one guitar. So what's going on?
Terrifying, isn't it? Yeah. I spent the last sort of 8 years or so making a lot of music, and a lot of music with other people. And this year I had this little window of time, 4 days, and I thought I really want to make something. I don't know what it is, but I thought I'd pick one instrument and see if that limitation would help.
So the old house burning down.
The result is this, Jacob Collier's 6th album, The Light for Days, written and recorded in just 4 days. Why that? Why 4 days? Just because you had 4 days?
I had 4 days, that was it. I had to go on tour. I'm definitely a fan of limitlessness, but also sometimes limits can be helpful too.
Don't you worry about a thing.
In 2013, a teenage Collier uploaded this video to YouTube from his bedroom. It went viral and launched his career. That's mad how that just took off.
It was mad. It was mad at the time. It's still mad to me now. Interestingly, I think the process of making that video is very similar to the process of making this album. It's literally just a kid in his room with a couple of cameras, a couple of microphones, and a few instruments.
I'm the worst musician in this room.
Jacob has become the musician's musician.
I will try.
Collaborating with dozens of artists, including Chris Martin
I see you looking bothered with your bothered face.
and Stormzy. Are you worried about artificial intelligence making music?
I think an AI can learn skills, but it can't learn a perspective or a sense of humour or an attitude. It's almost like too perfect to be interesting.
He's also a master of orchestrating amazing sounds from audiences. How do you do it? How do you get that sound from just a crowd?
The audience is the best instrument in the show, and I've always loved layering voices on top of other voices ever since Don't You Worry About a Thing. It was me going do 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 do, you know. So I love the process of creating these harmonies and chords with vocals, but I never thought it would scale to this kind of level.
And you've won 7 Grammys.
It's true. I feel really, really lucky to have even been considered for such things in the past. You know, I think my hope is that this album will be received by whoever needs it most, and that it's some kind of soothing balm in this crazy time.
The Light for Days is released today.
He's so talented, isn't he? That's it from us. The evening news is next with Lucrezia, but for now, from all of us on the London team, have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.